Everyone's fun around. My name is Jordan, and this video will be for Monday's slate of games. And we have just 3 games for Monday, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty light week when it comes to slates and the size of them. Tuesday and Wednesday, we will have cup games for the actual cup playoff part of it, or I guess cup tournament. Anyway, this will be an analysis of the 3 games. So I'm going to talk about, the teams, the injuries, talk about some props that I see that I like, that have nice hit rates, some good matchups, all that good stuff. So you will see images that come up on the screen on both sides. It's from a data app called Outlier. There will be a link in the description for a 7-day free trial for Outlier. And then also in the pinned comment, I will have additional analysis and a parlay of the day that'll take you to my website, find around 11. That'll show you all that information. Also, I do not have a premium. I don't plan on charging or anything like that. If you do well with this and you feel like giving back, I have a Cash App and Venmo in the description. That's fine around 11. So let's jump into this. The Kings versus the Pacers. Pacers are 3.5-point favorites. Sabonis will be out for this one. Keegan Murray and Dennis Schroeder are questionable. And then the Pacers have no new injuries. They still have a long list of injuries, but still no one returning that's been out for a while, like Naismith. So one of the guys I got to pointed him out last time I talked about the Pacers, and it's Jay Huff, the starting center for the Pacers. Recently moved into the starting lineup, and he has been just incredible with his block. So he's coming off a 5-block game versus the Bulls. And this line just hasn't moved. It's at 2.5. They have this at plus money right now. So obviously you could bump it down to 2 if you're doing like an alt line parlay. And that has an even better hit rate. But he's playing 20 plus minutes a game in the starting lineup unless it's a blowout or something like that. But the Kings give up the 11th most blocks to the center position. And playing 20 or more minutes this season, it comes up with exactly 10 games. He has had 3 or more blocks in 9 out of those 10 games, averaging 3.5 blocks a game. So really like Jay Huff in this. But a guy for the Kings. So the Kings took a look at all of their players. So Zach LaVine just had a really huge game, but before that, he's just on and off. Like he has a big game like every 3 or 4 games. DeMar DeRozan, I don't know what's going on with him. Like he's going under consistently, off and on. Russell Westbrook, off and on. Keegan Murray's been off and on. So it's really tough with the Kings. And his matchup isn't really that bad when it comes to scoring or rebounds. But there is a guy that I want to point out for the Kings. So Drew Eubanks was the starting center with Sabonis out. He was playing awful, and this rookie, Maxime Reynaud, stepped up off the bench, and he had been playing great for a while. So they finally put him in the starting lineup. And then versus the Heat, he gets a double-double, his first double-double of his career. So playing 20 minutes or more this season, he's averaging 14 points per game. Pacers give up the 7th most points to the center position. I think this is a really good opportunity for him. They also give up the 8th most rebounds. He's coming off that 10 rebound game. So double-double is at plus 350. So I do like his points where it's at. He's been scoring well. And then potential for a double-double for plus 350. I think it's a good opportunity there. And then when it comes to the Pacers, Pascal Siakam has the best matchup for them. It's just they dropped his line at like 26.5, which is crazy. So if you really want Siakam, I'd probably alt him down like 25 plus points. And it's got a better hit rate, but his line did come out very high because the Kings do give up a lot of points. But as for a lean here, I'm going to lean the Pacers at home. Both of these teams are not good. They give up a lot of points, but the Pacers do seem to play better at home. So I'll lean the Pacers at home. Next game is the Suns versus the Timberwolves. Timberwolves are 9.5-point favorites. For the Suns, Devin Booker is out, and then Dillon Brooks is questionable. Dillon Brooks being questionable is kind of big for the Suns because he's been taking a lot of volume lately. So Timberwolves have no injuries at all. Timberwolves give up the 11th least points. Suns give up the 8th least points. So this should be a low scoring game. But there's a prop I pointed out last time. It got bumped up by 1, but it still has a good hit rate, and it's Grayson Allen over his first quarter points. Even with it bumped up by 1, he got more minutes with Devin Booker out in that last game. He played about 9 to 10 minutes in that first quarter. So he's hit this in 80% of games this year. Should have more minutes, should have more volume, especially if Dillon Brooks is out. And then another guy who has a really good matchup, the Timberwolves actually struggle against point guard position just slightly. This guy was on the bench last time they played. Now he's in the starting lineup, and it's Colin Gillespie, point guard for the Suns. The last time they played was on November 21st. He had 20 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists in 34 minutes. Played a really good game there. The game that Devin Booker got hurt, he took 14 threes. He made 8 of them. So it was his 3-point line. He needs 3 or more threes made. He's hit this in 8 out of the last 10 games. And like I said, he had 8 against the Lakers. Did struggle against the Rockets with Booker out, but that was a blowout, and the Rockets are a tough matchup. He did have 4 makes against the Timberwolves in November. And also, you could take a look at his points. I think knocking his points down to 15 would be solid for an alt-line parlay. He's also hit that in 8 out of 10 this year, and the Timberwolves give up the 13th most points to the point guard position. So I like Colin Gillespie here. And then for the Timberwolves, first quarter prop that I like that has a really good hit rate is Rudy Gobert over his rebounds, which he's cleared in 70% of games this year, 9 out of the last 10 games. He had 7 rebounds versus Suns in the first quarter in that game in November, and he's averaging a little over 4 rebounds in the first quarter. So he's just been crushing this prop. They have it just stuck here at 2.5. I'm sure later on throughout the night they're going to put 3.5 there if you want to go for that and kind of ladder it up a little bit. I like him. And then Anthony Edwards has been very passive the past couple of games. I'm sure you might have bet on him, and then he just didn't take many shots. Actually asked the AI, I said, what's up with him? Are there any articles about it? And the AI said, yes, there's a lot of buzz about him being passive and just letting his other teammates play. And they've won the last 2 games where he's been passive. But it did also mention that there was an article that said that he historically has done this before, where he just goes passive, but historically he comes back and it just gets really hot, and he averages around 38 points a game whenever he comes back after a low volume type of stretch like this. He did just drop 41 points against the Suns. So I don't know how much longer he's going to go taking less than 12 shots a game. One of them he took just 6 shots. I know he had a little bit of foul trouble in that one, but still, if you're one of those people that likes like bounce back spots, this is definitely one to take here for the over. Or if you think he's going to continue to be passive, you can take the under. But history says that 8 different times that he has done this, he comes back and he's averaging about 38 points a game on that bounce back. So for a lane here, the Timberwolves, they've been winning lately, but they've been winning close. Even if it's the Pelicans, they had 2 close games against the Pelicans. The Suns, tough defensively. They could be missing Dillon Brooks. I'm going to assume Dillon Brooks is going to play just because he played last game. If he plays, I definitely lean the Suns here. If he doesn't play, then I get a little bit worried. So I'm just going to lean the Suns as of right now because Dillon Brooks is questionable. Before I get into this last game, if you guys could, please like the video. Let's get this up to 1,000 likes. I know when I release a video later in the day, it gets really, really close to 1,000 likes, and it'd be really awesome. I know you guys, this community has been just absolutely amazing over the past 3 years. And speaking of 3 years, just a few days on December 12th, it'll be my 3-year anniversary doing YouTube, which is interesting because I have to work tomorrow. It would be my last day, and I'm getting laid off. So I'll be trying out the full-time thing on my 3-year anniversary. So this week, there will be more videos of all the ideas that I've talked about and everything. So if you guys could leave a comment for the algorithm, you just put a W there. Helps get the video out there for more people to see. And then also, I want to shout out a couple of social sports books. You can use these in all the states you see on the screen, except for California, and it looks like New York also doesn't allow them anymore either. But you can bet money lines, spreads, straight bet, all that in the states that you see on the screen, except those two. Onyx Odds is doing bet 10, get 100, and that $100 is in $25 bets. When you go place a bet, there's just a little slider you click on. People have been getting upset saying they haven't been getting their $100, and they have. It's just there whenever you go to place a bet. So there's that. And then also No Vegas, bet 5, get 50. And then I want to shout out Underdog Fantasy, bet 5, get 100. I believe this is only going to last the next couple of days, and then it's going to go to bet 5, get 75. So if you have not tried out Underdog Fantasy, now is the time, or you're going to lose $25 if you want to try it later in the week. Promo code FINDAROUND11 for any of those. Thank you to anyone who uses those promo codes, and the links will be in the pinned comment and the description. This last game is an interesting one, but don't have as much information as I'd like. So Spurs versus the Pelicans. Spurs are 9.5-point favorites. Stephon Castle and Wemby did practice on Sunday. They moved Stephon Castle to questionable, and then Wemby's status is out, but that was like 9 days ago. So they haven't updated Wemby's status. And then Luke Cornett, the other center, is questionable. So there's a chance here that they play. I do not know if they'll be on a minutes restriction. That's also something we need to know. A lot of stuff pending here. They could, sit them and have them practice a little bit more. So we'll see. But this is a really good game for them to come back on against the Pelicans. Really bad defense. So for this game, I will do what I call the additional analysis. I will do what I normally do for like the other ones, except I'll do them in the morning or as news comes out, and I will put that in the pinned comment. It'll say additional analysis. I'll make a page on my website, additional analysis, and it'll give the props that I found that have good hit rates there and good matchups there, based off the news that we get. So this one, we're at the weights. There is one prop that I found that I do like already. But for the Pelicans, Zion is out, Jordan Poole's still out, and then Herb Jones is questionable. And Herb Jones, him being out has been, it ties directly into how Saddiq Bey has been playing with his scoring and his rebounding. So if Herb Jones comes back, then that could hurt Saddiq Bey in that run that he's had with scoring and rebounding. So one with a high hit rate that I think is an interesting one to go with is Derek Queen under first quarter points. So he's playing about 5 minutes in the first quarter, and he's gone under 3 or more points in 80% of games this year. And if Victor Wembanyama is out there in the first quarter, this is going to be a really tough matchup for him. And he has gone under in both matchups versus Spurs this season. So that is just an interesting one that I saw, and I don't think many injuries, really affect that. Like I said, we need to see if guys are on the minutes restriction, because, if they're not on a minutes restriction, look at like Stephon Castle right here. His head-to-head against Pelicans this year, 4th most assists given up to teams, and he's had 6 and 13 against them. So we'll see. So I'll give that additional analysis. That'll be at FindAround11.com. Link will be in the pinned comment for that. So for lean here, since Wemby and Castle practiced, I'm going to assume that they're going to play at least a little bit. I can imagine them playing Castle without too much of a minutes limit, but they could be very cautious about Wemby, just because he is Wemby. They're normally pretty cautious about him when it comes to injuries and stuff like that. So I will lean the Spurs with to get a 10-point win, just because Zion's out, Jordan Poole's out, and all that. And the Spurs are very good defensively, especially when Wemby and Castle are there. So I'll lean the Spurs here on the road as favorites. So if you'd like to discuss lines further, I have a Discord. Link is in the description. Hop on in there, talk about basketball, football, all that stuff. That is completely free. And as far as a recap goes, I did put a parlay of the day on Saturday when I did make a video, and both legs missed. That's what happens when I do quick research and just like, okay, I like that. I like that leg, just throw them together, and it just didn't work. Yeah, I will get this edited and get it out to you all. God bless you. It's Final Round. My name is Jordan. I will catch you on the next one. Bye.